Okay, so when we were doing the things we were doing last week, I felt like you had a little better understanding of least common multiple and greatest common factor. And so I wanted to kind of go back and talk about those. But before we do, I want to talk about these shortcuts in divisibility because these are super helpful. I think sometimes when I teach divisibility, people just kind of ignore it because it's not needed. But it's a shortcut. It can help you. It can save you a whole lot of work. So I kind of want you to see how they can save you a lot of work. So who remembers what the rule for deciding if a number is divisible by 3 is? What's the rule? And then what?
It can be divided by 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you add up all the digits, and that number can be divided by 3 evenly, then the whole number can be. Because look, if I asked you to divide this to tell me if this was divisible by 3, and you had to work it out, that would take you a little while, right? It's a lot of steps. There's a lot of dividing going on. But if I just say, add up those digits, and if that number is divisible by 3, then the whole number is divisible by 3. That's a shortcut. So let's look at this one. Add up these digits, and when you know if that number is divisible by 3, I want you to raise your hand. So the number 12,893. When you know if it is divisible by 3, raise your hand. Carson, is it divisible?
No.
How do you know?
Because I added up all the digits and it was 23.
Yeah, so when you add up these digits right here, you will get 23. 23 is not divisible by 3, so therefore the whole number is not. So this one is not. Okay, do 864. 864. Okay, McKinley,
Yes.
how do you know?
Plus 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 8 is 18, and then 6 times 3 is 10.
So we added up to 18, so yes. Okay, 711. 711. Edith?
Because it is divided by 3.
Yes, 7 plus 1 plus 1 is 9. 9 divides evenly by 3. So look, if I were looking at the number 711, I would have probably thought, oh, that's prime. Nothing goes into that. But this is where the shortcut can help you because it will help you see things that you might miss otherwise. Okay, how about 9,322? Matthew?
No, it's not.
Because when you add them up, you get what?
Okay, so you get 17. And 17 isn't divisible by 3, okay?
You got 17?
I got
16. I mean 16.
Yeah, but you are correct. It is not divisible. Okay, how about 1,461? Carson?
It is because you added 4.
You get 12. Good. Okay. All right, now, let's look at the next set. Divisible by 4. Who remembers the rule for a number being divisible by 4? The rule for a number being divisible by 4.
We put the two last numbers together, and if they can be divided by 4, it's divisible by 4.
Or if it ends in what? 2 zeros, right? If it ends in 2 zeros. So on every one of these, to decide if 4 can go into it, all we have to do is ignore everything except for the last 2 digits. So if we look at the first one, 132, ignore the 1 for a second. 32, does 4 divide into that? So 132 is divisible by 4. How about 500?
Yes.
Because it ends in 2 zeros. How about 471? No. How about 16,816?
Yes.
Because it ends in 16. And then 2,904?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see how helpful this is? This is much faster than having to divide all of this out. All right, and let's look at the last one on here. Who remembers the rule for 6? The rule for 6. I'll give you a hint. It has to be divisible by 2 other numbers. Austin?
It has to be divisible by 2 and 3.
By both 2 and 3. It has to be divisible by both 2 and 3. So let's do some eliminating for a second. Which ones of these are not divisible by 2?
333 and
No, 333 and 947.
Yeah, that one can't be and that one can't be because they are odd, right? So we know automatically this one can't be, that one can't be. Okay, now how about 132? Is it divisible by 2?
Yes.
Is it divisible by 3?
Yes.
Yeah, because if we add it up, we're going to get 6. So yes. Okay, look at the next one. Raise your hand when you know. 81,342. Bless you. Andrew. Yes, because when you add it up, you get close. It's 18. Yep, that's okay. All right, how about 972? Oh, sorry, you weren't there. 972. Raise your hand when you know. You know. Ava. Yes, because we added up, we get 18. Very good. Okay, now there are other rules, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but I wanted you to see how helpful this is. Because if you have a fraction, let's say you had a fraction that looked like this, that had 500 over 2,904. You might look at it and go, I have no idea. But you could do your rules, and you can say, oh, I know 4 will divide into both of those. So that's one factor that will divide into them. Okay? So it just helps you. That's why those are handy. So just keep an eye on those. All right. Now I want to get into some greatest common factor and least common multiple stuff really quick. So greatest common factor, people get confused between the two of them. The greatest common factor, so greatest means biggest, right? Common means belongs to both or belongs to all the numbers. And then a factor. How many people are super familiar with factors? So who could give me like a definition of factors? Definition of factors. Okay, go.
It's like what numbers go into that number. So like a factor of 6 is 2 and 3.
Yes.
And 1.
Good. So factors. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Were you finished? Okay. So factors are numbers that divide into numbers. So they can't be bigger than the numbers themselves, right? They have to be smaller. All right, least common multiple is the smallest common between the two numbers. Multiple, in other words, it has to be bigger than the numbers that you're dealing with. So, for instance, if I gave you the numbers 16 and 10, now you're going to have to think for a second because this is a thinking question. What is, if you didn't know, because you probably already have in your head the answer to the greatest common factor and least common multiple, but if you didn't know, what is the biggest number that could possibly be a factor of both of these numbers? What is the biggest number that even it could be? The answer could be no bigger than a certain number. Be no bigger than?
2?
Nope. Be no bigger than?
The number that is 16.
It could be no bigger. Look, because a factor has to divide into both of these numbers. So the greatest common factor can be no bigger than 10. It is somewhere between 1 and 10. Can't be bigger than 10 because it wouldn't divide evenly into 10. Okay? So you know that the greatest common factor is somewhere between 1 and 10. Anybody know what it is for these two numbers?
2.
2. Good. Okay, now, if we were talking about multiples, I'm going to ask a similar question. What is the smallest number that it could possibly be? The smallest number that a multiple of 16 and 10 could possibly be?
16.
Yeah, the biggest number. So it has to be 16 or bigger. So if you think of that, the multiples have to be at least this number. The factors have to be no more than that number. Because a lot of people get confused by those words greatest. They think it's going to be a big number, and least, they think it's going to be a small number. But in this case, greatest means the greatest that goes into both of them. Least means the smallest that it could be, which it has to be bigger than, or at least the biggest number. Yes, hold on one second.